Hi everybody, this is Carla, and this time I'm here with a review for episode 7 of season 8 of Castle, which is titled The Last Seduction. And this was an okay episode. I mean, the entire whole hiring a dude to sleep with your wife so you can break the prenup plot isn't exactly new. It's something we've heard before, and we've even heard before this idea that the guy who's sleeping with these people sleeps with someone who's so good that it turns his mind and it makes him stop doing that. It's not new. So that plot I didn't really care about. I also thought it was a little predictable. Like, when you have that syndrome where it's like, oh, this one person that I know from everywhere, like this famous person, so recognizable person, that's always the killer. Have you heard that theory? Well, I had that today, because the lawyer, whose name escapes me right now, but I know she's been in a lot of stuff, and I like her because she always plays really interesting characters. She can play like the softer, more emotional woman, or she can play like the tough, stand up for yourself lady. Like in this one, like she was really harsh as a lawyer, and I've seen her in other stuff, so I recognized her immediately. And I had that one moment, it's like, oh, okay, I know who she is, so she's gonna be the killer. So yeah, in the end, the cracking up the case was kind of, I saw that coming, and it's not good because I generally don't see these things coming. Like, I'm really bad at solving TV mysteries, so I never know who's actually, like, I'm always blindsided. I never know who actually is the right guy until they tell me, and then I'm shocked and feel stupid for not seeing it earlier. But this time around, I knew, like, as soon as I saw her, I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be her, because it's that one dude, like, it's always that one dude you recognize. He's always the bad guy. So yeah, that this episode had a little bit of that going on. So the plot itself, like the crime itself, wasn't terribly exciting to me. I did though like the whole idea of Espo and Ryan. I mean, that was a little predictable too, in a way, because we've seen that before. They've made movies about that, haven't they? Like, I think there was a whole other TV show about partners, like police partners, actually going into couples counseling and stuff like that. I think there was another, like, a whole TV show about that. So it's not new, but I like Ryan and I like Espo and I like their friendship. So it was fun to see. It was interesting to see them, trying to work it out. And in the end, they didn't really work it out because, I mean, they wrote a lot of stuff, but they didn't actually discuss any of it or how they felt. And I think that I'm not sure. Like, I would have to think back, but I believe that sort of thing has already happened on this show at least once, where, they're in a fight and then one of them, puts his life in danger for the other, and then all is forgiven. But it's cute. I mean, I can't fault them for trying it because it's really cute. And Espo and Ryan are such great friends and they're such great partners that you just want them to, be happy again. And it's always nice to see when one partner risks their life for the other. So yeah, it was predictable, but I didn't really mind. I liked their subplot. I also liked how it related to Castle and Beckett at the same time, because again, they're playing with this double entendre thing that Ryan and Espo as partners is kind of, sort of, maybe, like, if you squint, it can be seen as a parallel for a relationship, like a romantic relationship in a way. I mean, they have to go to couples counseling and stuff like that, so it can parallel a relationship, and I liked how it paralleled Castle and Beckett's. I do think Beckett is still being kind of wishy-washy about that. Like, I think she needs to tell Castle what's going on. Because, again, I don't think he's going to be in any more of a risk by knowing. So, I have a hard time. And I like that in this episode at least, she seemed to be conscious of that. When Castle asked her to go to dinner, and she's like, I don't want you to think that this is more than just dinner, and I like that because she's still trying to take into account his feelings. She's just confused. She just genuinely thinks she needs to stay away. I hope she realizes soon that she doesn't have to stay away from Castle to keep him safe or to keep him away from knowing too much. But I liked how Espo and Ryan's kind of counseling thing paralleled them. I like how when they took them separately, like Ryan and Castle were in one place and then Beckett and Espo were in somewhere else. It's almost like they were talking about each other in a way. Like, Beckett was so sure that if, like, a certain couple loved each other enough that they could get through everything. Meanwhile, at the exact same time, Castle is telling Ryan that if there's secrets, that's the one thing that might destroy a relationship. It's really, because they're going through it. And yeah, Castle knows right now that she's keeping something from him. Like something police related, I would say, because that message was, I found something. That you can't really take that to mean many different things. So Castle knows now, and that's gonna come back to bite them, because he did say anything as long as there's no secrets. Whereas Beckett truly thinks that some secrets a couple can live through, and she's going to have to come to the realization that, okay, at one point it's just too much. Obviously, I don't think they're at that point yet. But she's gonna have to figure it out because she is hurting him, And I think I like that, okay, even though, once again, Castle was kind of making overt gestures toward her, which I usually don't like because I think if she asked him for time that he should respect that, but it was their anniversary, so in this one case, I'm like, okay, he can at least show her that he's still, interested in being with her and being her husband, because it's their anniversary. He should make it a point to tell her again how much he loves her and how much he respects her and how much, even if she wants to stay away from him for now, he still considers her his wife, like, I think it was okay for him to push. And even though he asked her to have dinner with him, it wasn't pushy. It was, he asked, and he made it clear that he really wanted this to happen, this dinner, but that it was up to her. So I like that. I think, okay, now after a few episodes where they've handled the relationship a little bit better, I'm more into this separation thing. I still hope that they get together again. I can't not hope that, but I think I can live with the separation if they're actually being mindful of each other's feelings while they are separated. So I like that. I thought this episode handled that really well. I really liked, when the whole thing about Castle being in the divorce attorney's office, I thought that that maybe Beckett wouldn't realize, and she would actually think that Castle was trying to get a divorce from her or something. I thought that was going to be the way they were going, and I'm glad they didn't, because that's just silly. I guess at some point she can't feel scared about that, but I think she knows that Castle would talk to her first, I think. So I'm really glad they didn't go that way. And I'm really glad, another thing I really liked was that they used Alexis well. Even if Castle couldn't get the ledgers himself, Alexis, went in and did her thing, and she was useful, so I like that a lot. I also like that we got to see Haley and we got to see Vikram, because I miss them when they're not around. I really do. You kind of forget that Vikram is working for the NYPD, but he is. Like, this episode shows it. So I think he should be around more often. Haley's always great. I like the idea of a girl stay out at the spa with Haley. That must be so cool. When Kate pulled the towel down, she's like, "Oh yeah, before they put you in jail, can you get me the number for your tattoo artist because he's a genius." I thought it was really funny. Haley's awesome, and Vikram is great. I like to see them in every episode he gets, so I hope we see more of them in the future. For the most part, though, I mean, I found the actual plot to be kind of predictable, not really all that interesting. And I guessed the bad guy before the show said it, so I guess it's not a good thing because usually that doesn't happen. Um, but I still really liked the episode. I thought it was sweet. I thought it was very emotional for both Ryan and Nespo and Becca and Castle. I thought it was really well done, that parallel they had, and I'm looking forward to seeing where do they go from here, because now that Castle knows that there's actually something police like involved in this, like if there's something criminal that is keeping her away from him, he's not gonna let that, just go. He's gonna try his freaking hardest to find out what it is that she's doing. So I can't wait to see how they do that. I'm glad that Ryan and Espo are alright now. I'm glad that Castle and Beckett had at least a moment to again show that they love each other. I thought it was really well done this time, unlike some of the previous episodes, which left me feeling like a little bit unsure about it. But now I really liked it, and I think I can deal with the separation if they do it right. So that's about it for now. If you guys want to see more Castle reviews, be sure to visit our website at thegeekypub.com. We have reviews for this season, the previous season. We also have reviews for other TV shows, books, movies, games. We have a ton of stuff in there, so be sure to check it out. And that's about it for now. So I'll see you guys in my next review. Bye.